You don't chase anymore, you seduce.
I'm sure like when Michael Jordan left the field, he was like, fuck, man, because like I want to play.
I'm hearing a lot of success, and you started small and you managed to scale up to such a high level.
Thought everything that I touched was going to be gold, right? You know,
God humbles you when you think you have everything.
she's been there with me when I was on my lowest. So that's like priceless. There's nothing that could buy that.
So guys, I was at the Forbes event in Cleveland and we bumped into Jimmy. And we asked him if he would like to have a podcast with us, and it happened. Jimmy's a young millionaire who started from nothing, and you are Latino. Where are you
Yes.
from?
Originally from Mexico.
Were you born in Mexico?
No, I was actually born in LA. And then once I was born in LA, I probably lived there for like a couple months. And then they took us to Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico.
Okay, and then you left Mexico at the age of?
Yeah, I left Mexico. I actually study in San Diego. So the funny story about that, my parents used to cross every day. They will wake up at 3 a.m. and we will cross every day to San Diego, and then we'll come back and cross the border again every single day to just so we could get a better education. So we did that for like 5 years, and then after that we moved to San Diego.
What is it that you studied?
Well, no, it was just first grade in elementary, and then middle school, and then all the way to high school. And then after that, we moved full-time to Arizona. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you go to college or university?
Yes, in Arizona, I pursued business administration. I dropped out. I didn't have the funds. So, I wasn't the A+ student. So I just grabbed whatever I needed and I just, dropped out. And it's
That's cool. Signature question is,
Yeah.
when did you make your first million?
That will be, I don't have the exact date, but it was at my I was 27 years old. Yeah.
Fucking right, man. Good
Yeah.
job. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
How did you make your first million?
How did I make it? I started in sales. So I built my own company. Then we built a team. And then after that, for the first 2 years, I was actually the top salesman of my company. So not only did I have a team, but I also was selling residential solar. And, I was wearing a lot of hats, but I was still selling and doing quite a few transactions. And we built a really good amount of team and then all that. And then we put it in towards investments as well, real estate investment. And that's where we actually got the first mill.
That's awesome, man. So you said you have your own company and you were doing sales at the same time. So is your company the third party that sells the solar machines, or did you make it? Did you invent this machine?
No, so we are like a broker, like similar to real estate. You know how they have their agents and they have a main broker and they have a brand like Remax and stuff like that. So we are, that's what we are for solar. That's what we are, Renewable Power USA. That's what we do. We bring people, we recruit people, we train them.
You do the sales.
And we do the sales, yes, 100%.
Which one do you prefer more? Talking to the client and closing the deal, or recruiting, training, and send them out there, make them sharks and then send them out there?
I think I like a little bit of both. I like the mixture of it. But
You gotta pick one.
Yeah,
Pick
I know.
one. Give me, what's your favorite?
My favorite one.
Can't have two wives.
Yeah, right.
You gotta have one. Unfortunately. That's like...
Right. But yeah, I like to, develop people. I think that's one of the main things that I love to do, because I see, people coming from scratch, like working in the company, even working like in labor, like in the fields, in the crops. Like I brought some people that, had some potential. We really believed in them. And then we've been able to get them to like 6 figures, 7 figures, people that come from another country and they join the team. We have even helped them like get to levels that they never really imagined. So us being able to do that, it's like just amazing, how their life transformed, how they gain this skill that they're able to just build a legacy.
Is your team commission only?
We have some employees. We have 10 employees and the rest of them are contractors. So we have a model where, contractors come in and they're commission based only. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone's doing sales is commission based only.
Yes, we have an internal team where we have a manager that's leading their internal team. And then we also have other sales guys that are contractors, and they're all based on commission. Yeah.
Which one sells more? The commission only or the employees?
Commission
They're
only.
Not
guys.
listening now. They're not listening now. You can't say.
Yeah, no. Commission only. Those guys are typically, because they're like, yeah, I'm gonna make a commission. I'm gonna go hunt. I'm gonna go get it. So they have a little bit more pressure. So those are the guys that are the most successful at.
When they come to the interview, what's their goal? Is to make $1 million or to make a living?
A lot of the time is they're just trying to make a living, man. That's how I started too. I was like, hey, I was pretty broke. I wanted to, just really have a lifestyle. I wanted to, have my family taken care of, be the breadwinner at the house, and that was my goal. And I just found this niche and I went from there. And that's how most of the guys, come into.
How did you transition your mentality from you just want to work to survive and have some lifestyle and sort of support your family to like, I want to have a fucking lifestyle now. I want to have these zeros in my bank account. I want to have these investments.
Yeah.
How did you transition? Is it like something that came naturally to you, or you started hanging out with people that they're richer than you, or you just wanted more from life because life is amazing and you can actually get more if you have more money?
Yeah, I think where it really triggers is that, you know, once I was responsible for multiple people, it's like, shit, it's not just about me, right? It's now I have more people. Now I'm forced to kind of grow. Like, I'm not going to let this, you know, this person down that they decided to quit their job, come and work with me. So it's like, shit, if we grow, you know, we're able to even impact their lives, and you know, we're able to provide them, you know, with a better opportunity so they could, you know, stay here and they could even help other people grow as well. But I think ultimately it comes from creating a big impact, right? I'm a firm believer in God, and I think He has a big mission for us and a big mission for me. So I have to deliver to whatever, you know, my mission in this world is. And I know, like, He, you know, it's the best of the best, right? If doesn't necessarily is material, but just giving the best out of me, I think it's just something in me, right? Like, I can't just stay put and say like, oh, I'm gonna play small. I gotta play, you know, the big game so I could impact more people. I think that's a big thing.
That's awesome, man. What did you do before starting this company?
Before starting this company, I was working in call centers. So
sales. You've always been in sales.
Yeah, yeah. So I was working in call centers. Did that for a few years, and then, but you know, I worked in labor jobs too, man. Like I worked in construction.
List them for me. So, even if you were a dancer, just say it.
Yeah, no, of course. So I cleaned houses with my aunt. I cleaned houses with my mom. I went and worked on construction. I went and worked in the crops in the field, you know, to kind of get a little feeling of, you know, what the hard work is like. And then after that, you know, I jumped into to doing phone sales, right? So I was like, shit, I think I prefer to do this than, you know, really working really extremely hard, you know, those other jobs. And that's what I did, man. And right before I jumped into solar, we were running a call center inside of a prison. There were 100 inmates in there, and I was an assistant supervisor, and we were teaching these guys, you know, how to sell and how to, you know, talk to people and help them build a skill. So whenever they leave the prison, they actually have a career. So
that's actually really good.
Yeah.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Why did you start your company?
I started my company. The main reason was because I seen an opportunity. We used to work for Tesla at the moment, but before Tesla was called Solar City, and Elon Musk decided, because Elon Musk was the chairman of Solar City, and he was the CEO of Tesla, so he had a smart moves like, you know, we're gonna, you know, buy this company, which is his company, right? And then since there's such a big brand, we used to do door to door. So that's we actually even still have door to door teams. So they didn't want people door knocking, right? So I kind of like I got a feeling of it, because like, yeah, this big brand. If I had this big brand, I don't think I want people knocking doors for me, right?
You don't chase anymore. You seduce.
Exactly, yeah. So I seen that coming, and I left, and whenever I left, you know, I was like, hey guys, like, I'm gonna leave, and some people are like, hey, where are you leaving? It's like, I mean, I just don't see this happening. And then 3 months from there, you know, they just laid everybody off, and I was like, oh shoot, I was working for a smaller company, and I was like, you know what, I want to create the value that, you know, this big brand was creating for people, and even do it better. And that's where I, you know, decided to pull the trigger. Yeah.
It's not easy to move from an employee to start a company and have all these big dreams. What helped you grow all these balls to pull the trigger? You know, you say it in a way, you make it sound so easy.
Yeah.
And the reason why we have this podcast is we actually want the audience to know how it actually felt, how scary it was, how hard it was. So I want you to go through this with me. Like, did you just meet someone who did it before and they walked you through it? Did you hire a mentor? Did you hire a coach? Give me some details.
So I love that, man. And thank you for asking that question.
Of course.
Because it's not easy. You know, in the beginning stages, you know, I had some money saved because I was a, you know, somewhat good sales guy, right? And I had to make an investment. So, you know, in the beginning stages, I was scared, man. I was like, shit, should I do this? Should I, you know, am I really I'm going to be competing? I'm trying to replicate and create something better than a big brand is doing. So that's scary. You know, it's like, fuck, you know, I was like, all right, so fuck it, I'm going to do it. So in the beginning, I'm going to do it. I said, what is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario, I know I can sell. I know I'm going to hustle. I'm going to work. If I have to door knock, I have to do what I have to do. I'm going to fucking figure it out, right? That was the thing that I said.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Say that again, please.
So, to me, it's like, I'm going to do whatever I have to do, right? I'm going to fucking figure it out for myself, right? It's like, so that's a plus.
I'll
right?
make it work. Whatever fucking happens.
Yes.
I will knock on another 100 doors.
Yes.
I'll get it. I'll pay the rent.
Yeah,
It'll
exactly.
happen.
100%. So, I was like, I'll make it happen for me and maybe one more guy, like, or one employee. I think I could do that. Like, I don't suck. I was like, I could make it happen. And little by little, I started to commit, and the more people were under my wing, the more responsibility I had. I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to let this guy down. I'm going to push him and I'm going to guide him. And
Did you ever hire a coach, a mentor?
You know what? What I did is I started sending off a lot of business to one of the biggest install companies in the nation, which they're the guys that do the construction for our side. We handle the sales and then they do the construction. And we did over $250 million in sales for them. So, he started liking me a little bit more. It's like, hey, who's this young kid? Like, right? Who's I wanted to meet with him. I was like, hey, let me have a meeting with you. Let me pick your brain a little bit, guide me, and he definitely mentored me through some of the things that some of the challenges I was going through. So I mean, these guys are they're $1 billion company. So just being able to be in that room with him and just having that communication with him, I think it did help. At that time, I didn't really understand the whole mentorship. I was just like, I'm working, I need to ask questions, and it's like, I need to make this guy my friend because he's done something well. So I need to,
That's pretty much the mentorship.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
More friends, you have more friends that are mentoring you. From a salesperson to recruiting and training.
Yeah.
Talking to people and closing them is not the same like hiring someone, being a manager, be patient, deal with someone who's a very bad salesperson and make them better salespersons. So how was this like, did you enjoy recruiting in the beginning or did you were like, fuck, I'll just go knock on doors and do sales and make money? I know some people, they worked in sales companies, commission only. Some guys I know, like they built 20 people teams. Yeah. And now all they do is just track this team, make sure they're doing good work, and they give them support.
Yes.
And his friend, they started together. He tried to recruit. He's like, couldn't recruit. No, just he does sales. He makes money. And just he sits back. He's like, I don't want to deal with team. Yeah. So how was dealing with team in the beginning for you? Because personally, I struggled so much with my 4 businesses in the beginning with hiring.
Yeah.
I would hire someone, have high expectations. I see that they can't do shit. Yeah. But then they arrive and then I don't know what happened last night and they're demotivated today and they're not doing good. And I'm like, why the fuck you're not doing good? Go home. So, to run me through this phase.
So I think my biggest struggle with that in the beginning was that I was like, shit, I got to go bring in some income to the company. And I wanted to do it myself, right? And to me, my mindset is like, I will hire people. Like I said, I believe in them. And then they didn't meet the expectation. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go make that sale. How many sales you're making this much? Fuck it. I could do that myself. So I would just...
You're wasting my time.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, if I don't have him, I'll go out and make it myself. But then I started to learn, it's like, yeah, but you're never going to grow like that. So I was like, okay, so you have to go through it. And, I think it was like a natural recruiting because people, I just started branding myself, making a brand and just letting people know. And they will come to me and say, hey, man, what's up? What are you doing? You're driving that car. I was like, hey, what are you up to? I was like, oh, I'm doing this. So, hey, man, give me an opportunity. It's like, nah. And then for a certain time, I was like, nah, bro, it's not for you. You're going to go door knocking. It's a lot of work. It's like, if you bring me a couple clients and, we have an ambassador program, which we start them off. And it's like, you bring me a couple clients and, then I'll
bring your family and friends first. And then we'll talk after.
That's how I will start. And then little by little, we started, there's some guys that are really serious. And I had to tell them, hey, dude, like, yeah, stop referring me people. I don't have time or my people have time. You got to go out and do it yourself. Because look, this is how much you're missing out. And then it wasn't easy letting go of like being in the trenches myself. But then I was like, you know what? I have to build a good training platform where I can replicate myself and bring more people on board. And, they could have that opportunity. And a lot of the times I think it's like being like in sports, right? And like, I'm sure like when Michael Jordan left the field, he was like, fuck, man. Like, it's like, I want to play, right? I want to be the MVP. I want to be, get those, those awards and stuff like that. But it's, but you got to kind of make 2 steps back and just put more people in the field and let them take the shine and let that, have that opportunity and even make it better. So that, when I discovered that, I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's what I got to do. And I think it's a pretty humble experience to do that because not a lot of people get to do that. And not a lot of people get to step back because a lot of them go back in.
They want to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So you seem like a really, really good salesperson. When you hire someone and you see them doing the mistakes in sales all the time, isn't it hard? Like,
yeah,
it's
man.
like, fuck, man, this is common sense. So how do you deal with these emotions? Like, what do you say? And it's like, I'm asking this personally because I want to learn from you.
No, it's not. It's not easy, man. I think it's just being patient, right, and just having somebody too that you could talk to and say, and kind of bounce some ideas like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts on it, right? And then you get a perspective from somebody else, and then you're okay. I'm not gonna necessarily do exactly what you're telling me to do, but I'm gonna keep that in consideration before I have a conversation. So I think that's been pretty big, and also just step away a little bit and allow them to to make the mistakes, because a lot of the times like it's like, oh, I don't want them to make the mistake, kind of like a kid, right? I don't want them to go through that because that's tough, getting rejected so much. But it's like, no, that is what's going to build that person, right? And understanding that I think is huge. And once you adapt it and you have that patience, and maybe even bringing somebody better than you to manage these people, because I think that's the big thing for me.
That's a very important one. That's a very important. Bring someone to take care of your team if you can take care of them.
So what I'm interested to know, because I'm hearing a lot of success, and you started small and you managed to scale up to such a high level. So my question to you is, what is the biggest failure that you faced, and how did you handle it, and what lesson did it teach you?
Wow, that is powerful. I mean, I got some. You guys got some time? No, just kidding. No, I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is during COVID. During COVID, we went through a lot of chaos because our business was mainly door to door, right? So we had to go door knocking. So what happened was that we didn't have, the government was saying, do not go and meet people, right? So we had to innovate. And during that time, I don't even think that was the most difficult personal thing. During that time, even personally, we were going through some stuff. My wife and I, we had our first baby boy, and he passed actually during the time. So this was going on at home, right? And which it was insane. It was crazy. And then COVID hit, and then it was like everybody coming and asking, hey, what are we gonna do, man? We can't door knock. We can't meet people. Like, what is the way that we? So I'm thinking like, shit. I was like, man, I got some stuff I got to work at home, and I have all these guys like asking me questions. What are we gonna do, right?
They also have families. They want to support them.
Yeah. So that was a tough situation, but I'm grateful, and God knows what He does, right? And we went through going through that, and actually going through it, I was busy enough to keep my head away from also even the what I was going through personally, and then I was able to innovate. We also innovate the business.
What was your strategy?
The strategy was I was busy with work, right, and busy at home, so it kept me like I didn't have too much time to think about the business.
I mean, how did you replace the door knocking?
Oh, so how do we replace it? The
brochures, advertising, social media.
We started running ads, and then we also started doing phone calls, and we started doing Zoom sales. So that's what now big part of our business. That's what we're doing now. So going through that, and then thank God during those moments we had our fastest growth. We have Inc. 5000 fastest growing company. We're the top 44 company in the Inc. 5000 a private growing company.
Nice. I love it.
So it was good. And then after that, also even personally, we have a baby girl too now, and she's gonna be 2 years. So it was a really tough moments. Well, there were humbling moments, and there were moments where I sat down. I was like, shit. I thought, because during that time too, I thought like, hey, I was already like made a couple $1 million, so I was like, shit, I was 27, 28, so I was like, I thought everything that I touched was gonna be gold, right? But during those moments, I was like, fuck,
God humbles you when you think you have everything.
100%, man, 100%. That's exactly what happened. And during those moments, there was a lot of good things that came out of that. So I think that's one of the toughest moments that I went through my life, which I'm grateful for. But it helped us, move forward.
I know you have a question, but he mentioned he's married and he had a kid at 27.
Yeah.
And you were making lots of money. What happened to you? Why?
Yeah.
At this age, got lots of money.
Yeah.
Line them up.
Yeah.
Just get locked in. Like, wow.
Yeah.
It's not I don't want to know your secret. I don't want to know what happened to you.
What I have. Why did you decide to have a family? Is that what you say? Or instead of this being single? Honestly, I have an amazing wife. And I think a lot of my success is because of my wife. She has kept me humble. She has definitely directed some of the things that I do.
Don't just give me bullshit and just talk shit to your wife so she can bang you tonight. Give me action. Like, okay. What does your wife do that keeps you motivated, makes you work really hard, and honestly, just give me the honest answers. I get lots of married men on my podcast. And they say, oh my God, just the presence of my wife makes me work harder.
But why?
I'm gonna bust your balls if you say this. Give me exactly what does she do? Makes you read? She gives good massages. What is it?
No. I think to me, the most important thing is she's a wife that I could trust, right? Like I'm here in Cleveland for 4 days, and I have a peace of mind. It's like, hey, I have somebody who's at home taking care of my kids, and that she's gonna be, she's there, right? And that gives me that. That's huge to me. That's a peace of mind that I can focus on my work. I get back home and I focus on her, right? So that's big. That's big. I think I have a beautiful wife, so that's right. I have to have somebody who's beautiful because I think she's really sexy. So
cute helps.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
All of a sudden, you're patient because she's cute. It's like that.
Yeah, no, she's beautiful. She's patient, and she's somebody that I could trust, and she's been there with me when I was on my lowest, right? Like she didn't, during, and also even going through those hard times, like she's been there.
She was strong.
She was strong there, and I think that's big. And then also,
what does she do when you first think, like you finish work today? How many hours do you work outside of the house?
Outside of the house, I mean, I work like freaking, 12 hours sometimes. Still? Or even more. Yeah.
Okay, so you did 12-hour shift?
Yeah, 12-hour shift.
You unlock the door, you're walking inside the house.
Yeah.
What does she do? Where did she meet you? Like, did she meet you in the hallway? She waited for you to get to the kitchen. It is like, imagine now you're walking inside of the door. You know exactly what's going to happen because it's been happening for years.
Yeah.
So tell me what happens now if you walk in the door.
If I walk in the door, when I walk in the door, I open the door and I see my beautiful little baby, and she comes running and she grabs me. So that's like priceless. Like honestly, that's something that there's nothing that could buy that, the happiness. And then also I come home and I say hi to my wife. There's
what
food.
does she do?
There's food on the table.
Like, is she smiling when she meets you? Is she
not all the times. Not all the
times. Good. We're getting somewhere. Is she smiling? Is she dressed up for you? Like, what is the stuff that's motivating you? Like all the stuff that you named for me. The basics. This is 101 being a wife.
Yeah.
And you picked her cute, so that's on you now.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's when, she's cute. So I come in and yes, of course, there's food ready. The house is clean. Okay. It smells good. Yes. My house is folded. So I was like, oh man, like that's love right there, right? And yeah, she doesn't have the she's not happy all the time, right? Which is normal. Of course. But most of the time, yeah.
She's a Latino husband.
Yeah, she is.
Like. So I'll ask you this: do you think you would be able to be that successful if your wife has a full-time job?
Absolutely not. No, because No, I don't think so, because I would have been more comfortable and I was like...
You would be washing dishes and changing fucking diapers. Have you changed any diapers?
Yeah, probably like 5 times out of 2 years, yeah.
Okay, 5 times? 5 times in 2 years. Come on, she was sick or something.
We always have a bet about if men should change diapers or not. So when you said yes,
only 5 times. I mean, but
how about the dishes game? Like, do you wash dishes? It sounds like you wash dishes. Your hand was soft when
I wash them. I mean, I think out of the 6 years that we've been married, probably I'll say like, 8 times.
Do you have a dishwasher? Is that why?
No. We do, but then it's like she uses the regular one.
8 times in all these years. See?
So the other $1 million question here is, your wife's doing an amazing job and you're obviously providing for her financially.
Yes.
Other than the financial aspect and the materialistic aspect, what are you doing for her?
So for her, what do? I try to look good. I try to look good for her. I do. Right? Yeah, you know what I mean? I do. I look good. I try to impress her whenever I can. We have this thing every single year that we have a honeymoon every year. That's my thing. Like, it's like we're going to have, spike it up. We travel, and not necessarily, I mean, I'm grateful that now we have the finances to travel, even over the world, but just make it exciting for her, make it, where it's like, hey, she sees the love, and that's what I really work
good for you, man. Does she ever bring up that she wants to find a job, wants to work with you, or like get paid, or I want to have my own paycheck? Does she bring this shit up, or?
She has, but like in the beginning stages of marriage, because I guess
before you made the million.
No, it was not because of that. It's just because she felt like, oh, well, I can make more money too, because as a head of the house, right? I make the decisions and I make the financial decision when it comes to that.
You heard that?
Yeah. So she. Yeah, no, thank you.
Where is she from? Does she have sisters?
She does, but they're married. Yeah, she's from LA, but her family's from Mexico. But in the beginning, because there was a fight. She's like, oh, okay, well, you think I was like, no, it's just that I'm the head of the house and I provide. So this is the decision that I think is the best, for us to do. And she's like, okay. And then it took her a little time to adapt. But then she did, and then she's been able to, not be a crazy spender. And she has been able to keep some, our stuff like taken care of. So I think I owe that to her.
You said you worked 12 hours a day on average?
I will say it all depends on the season because it's like I think it's like a sport too. Like I have my off seasons. There's times where I work like 6 hours a day, and there's times where I go to events and it's like it's game time, so it's 12 hours a day. Like for example, during this event or other events that I do or where I speak, like it's like 12 hours. Like from the moment I wake up, once I hit the conference or whatever I'm doing, like I'm networking with people and connecting with people, and all the way till like even 11 at night or 12 p.m. to a.m.
So what do you do to keep fueling your passion, keep filling up that drive, and to avoid burnout at the same time because it's demanding?
I can't wait for this answer. Okay, give me the answer. I think you're gonna give me a good answer.
What do you think of that question?
Yeah.
Let's see if we have the same answer.
So to me, number one is taking care of yourself, right? I think me, having a connection with God in the morning every day and just praying and being grateful and just having that time and, just reading a little bit.
We don't have the same answer.
Yeah, that's one, right? Because I have that mental clarity. And then after that, I like to, work out, right? Go to the gym, go, work out, do something tough, do something challenging. And then that's kind of part of my routine. And then after that, then I like to keep exciting, right? Also like, opening new stuff, like coming to different cities, different places, exploring, being in places where I'm pretty humbled, right? Like I'm hearing about $1 billion companies, I was like, oh shit, I thought I was doing all right, so that excites me, right? Being around people like you guys, right? Like you guys are, entrepreneurs, you guys are hungry. I think that's, I feed off of that too as well, and I get motivated and inspired. And I think those are one of the key things that, just keeps me going and keeps me pushing. Yeah.
That's a great answer, man.